Miss Borzeka to come forward to say an opening prayer.
Dear parents, tutors, relatives, and friends, and students, what we would like to do is change the world. Make it a little simpler for people to feed, clothe, and shelter themselves as God intended them to do. And by fighting for better conditions, by crying out unceasingly for the rights of the poor, the needy, the rights of the worthy, and the unworthy. In other words, we can, to a certain extent, change the world. We can work for an oasis, the little self of joy and peace in a hairy world. We can throw out our pebble in the pond and be confident that this ever-widening circle will reach around the world. We repeat, and there is nothing we can do but love. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Dear and loving God, we give thanks for the gift of our parents, grandparents, siblings, relatives, teachers, and each one of our friends and talents. Thank you for the blessing you give us each moment. May we always use our gifts and talents in a way that demonstrates kindness, humility, compassion, and great love. And dear God, please enlarge our hearts to love each other, to love our neighbor, and to love our enemies as our friends. Amen. Saint Joseph, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you. Amen.
It's a great pleasure that I'm able to stand before you to recognize the accomplishments of some of our student athletes in our co-curricular awards. This year's assembly will take on a similar format to last year because we're unable to gather as a full school. Senior classes have been brought together and we are live streaming, thanks to Mr. Hayden and Mr. Bannerman, to our junior classes. This will be the norm moving forward as our school continues to grow. We would like to present our major awards to our senior students in front of their peers, while also inspiring our junior students to strive for greatness in the future. I want to say thank you to all the students who participated this year in athletics, in various clubs that ran during this school year. This was our first normal year since 2018. And what a year it was. WASA representatives include junior girls basketball champions, cross-country novice girls, junior boys, and 3 para-athletes, girls rugby finalists, senior girls volleyball qualifier and host for WASA's championship, junior girls volleyball bronze and host for WASA championship, WASA champions included in swimming 4x50 senior boys basketball finalists, junior boys basketball qualifier, varsity boys hockey qualifier, varsity girls hockey qualifier. We have track and field champions, and we have wrestling champions. That's just WASA. OFSA, track and field, 4 athletes went to track and field for cross country. The team of 15 athletes qualified, the novice girls finished 4th. Swimming team, 10 athletes qualified. Archery team qualified, winning 3 gold. Girls varsity soccer just came back from a very competitive tournament. Wrestling team had 4 athletes. There's a couple special notes here. Mohamed Kuhail won gold in the para-ambulatory division in cross country. Hannah King won silver in wrestling. Matthew Peakney won silver in pole vault. And Libby McCurdy won gold in the junior pole vault. Incredible performances by all. Every year we include participation statistics. Again, this year being our first normal year, we have some inspiring numbers because they're all up from last year. In grade 9, 55% of our male population and 45% of our female population participated in sports or clubs at this school. In grade 10, 56% of our males and 39% of our females participated again in sports and clubs. Grade 11, you are our winner this year. 54% males and 56% females. And our grade 12 participants include 45% males and 60% females. These numbers are increasing. As I said, last year numbers were a little bit lower. So as a school, we had approximately 50% or 52%, of our student body participated in school activities this year. This is an incredible number for a school of 950 students. This is up from last year, and I hope that this number will increase as we move forward with more teams and clubs every year. We are striving to get 60% participation rate as everyone gets more involved. Special thanks to all of our coaches who gave up their time to allow teams and clubs to run. Here is a list of all the teams and their coaches. In the fall, we have golf with Mr. Bannerman, cross country, Ms. Berry, Ms. Manfrini, and Ms. Macero. Junior boys volleyball includes Mr. Cheravati and Mr. Gibson. Senior boys volleyball, Mr. Santos. Junior boys football, Mr. Riotti, Mr. Slott, Mr. Craig, Mr. Ainsworth, Mr. Giesler, Mr. Howard, and Mr. Clove. Senior football include Mr. Pickering, Mr. Giesler, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Molinaro, Mr. McLennan, and myself. Junior girls basketball, Ms. Wolfs and Mr. Lamon, and senior girls basketball, Mr. Fox. I say all these names because they deserve the recognition, because they've given up their time and efforts to help so many of our student athletes. Winter sports include senior girls volleyball, Mr. Santos, Ms. Wolfs. Junior girls volleyball, Ms. Henning, Mr. Slott, Mr. Gibson. Boys hockey, Mr. Schuin, Mr. Riotti. Girls hockey, Mr. Fox, Mr. Pereira, and Ms. Gillick. Junior boys basketball, Mr. Lamon, Mr. Pava. Senior boys basketball, Mr. Rick and Mr. Rayner. Wrestling, Mr. Schweitzer, Mr. Howard, Ms. Miller, and Mr. Proctor. Swimming, Ms. Berry, Ms. McCready. Spring sports include badminton with Mr. Giesler, Mr. Piper, and myself. Tennis, Mr. McCaffrey. Girls rugby, Mr. Howard, Mr. Vanette, Mr. Schweitzer, and Mr. Giesbrick. Baseball, Mr. Rick, Mr. Rayner, Mr. Schulin. Girls soccer, Mr. Lamon, Mr. Pava. Boys soccer, Mr. Santos, Mr. Pereira. Track and field includes Mr. Sibley, Mr. McLeod, Ms. Berry, Ms. Wolfs, Mr. Locke, and Mr. Parker. Equestrian, Ms. Griffith. And last but not least, archery with Ms. Bruins and Mr. Moyer. They deserve a round of applause. My challenge is out to the students. Your teachers have greater than 60% participation. Now it's up to you to get greater than 60% participation for next year. I want to give a special thanks to our volunteer coaches who help out with our school teams and clubs. We're very fortunate to have these people in our community, and some of them are graduates who wish to give back to our school community. We thank them for their time, their dedication, leadership, and guidance. Volunteers this year include Mr. McLennan, Mr. McCormick, Mr. Molinaro, Mr. Giesler for football, Mr. Ainsworth, Mr. Clow, Mr. Giesler, that's a different Giesler, and Mr. Craig for junior football. Mr. Rick for senior boys basketball, Mr. Proctor and Ms. Miller for wrestling, Mr. Locke and Mr. Barker for track and field, Mr. Moyer, Mackenzie Moyer for archery, girls rugby, Mr. Giesbrick, Mr. Vanette, and baseball, Mr. Rick. I'm sure I'm missing one there, but that's a long list. Thank you very much. Before we get to our level 1 and level 2 participation awards, I want to acknowledge the top point getters in each grade this year. Points are awarded to individuals who participate in teams and clubs. As further you advance, the more points you get. So I have to add more points to the girls soccer team. Congratulations to them for advancing to LAFSA. Our grade 9 list includes 50 points for Lucas Wall, Flourish Moore, 50 points. Max Andrews, 50 points. Hannah Slatt, 55 points. Brooklyn Rosekamp, 60 points. Abigail Ferris, 60 points. And our top of grade 9 this year is Thomas Vu with 65 points. In grade 10, our top point getters, Elijah E, 50 points. Jade Temchin, 50 points. Shayla Hernandez, 50 points. Noah Baker, 55 points. Sophia D'Souza, 55 points. Joel Jensen, 55 points. Lucas Woodrow, 55 points. Promise Atkinson, 65 points. Marian Louise Medina, 70 points. Cody Johnson, 75 points. And Mara Kemmerly, 75 points. Both point totals are incredible because every major sport you get 15 points. If you're involved in musical, you get another 15 points. So imagine how you get 75 points in one single year. That's an amazing accomplishment. Our grade 11 top winners are Troy McPhee, 50 points. Nate Mikowski, 50 points. Dawson Wolkarius, 50 points. Cadence Coffey, 55 points. Kian Silva, 55 points. And Sarah Van Velser, 70 points. And last but certainly not least, our grade 12s. Taylor Betancourt, 50 points. Will Mantell, 50 points. Wes McLennan, 50 points. Diego Albangasca, 55 points. Addison Broderick, 55 points. Alex DeCristoforo, 55 points. Caitlin Fox, 55 points. Maddie Johnson, 60 points. Kaylee Baker, 65 points. And get a load of this one. Christine Amick, 85 points. I'd like to call upon Ms. Berry to come forward to present our Level 1 Minor Participation Awards. I would like these athletes to please come forward to the left of the stage. Come forward, Ms. Berry will present you with the participation award. So the following students have accumulated, COVID adjusted, 125 points for their participation on clubs or teams over the school during their high school career. And these student athletes, please come forward to the stage to receive once their name has been called. In grade 10, we have one person, Mara Kemmerly. Grade 11, Sarah Van Velser and Dawson Wolkarius, please come forward. Grade 12, I've got Gabriel Andrews, Christine Annett, Kaylee Baker, Addison Broderick, Colin Burns, Ryder Dennison, Alex DeCristoforo, Braylon Dowson, Caitlin Fox, Maddie Johnson, Ian Klassen, Madeline Lee, Avery Lindsay, Rachel Lobach, Will Mantell, Wes McLennan, Noah Polnow, and Ramona Reed. tremendous accomplishment. 125 points over their career shows their involvement, dedication, and these students have also missed out on a couple of years and a bunch of opportunities, so congratulations to them. Thank you to all of our award winners. We also have a level 2 major participation award. The following students have accumulated a total of 200 points for their participation on clubs and teams over their high school career. Can the following students please come forward to the stage and stay on stage while their names are being called? Major award winners include Diego Albangasca and Christine Annan. These two athletes have the highest point totals over their career. Christine managed 170 points over her high school career, and Diego managed 175 points over his high school career. What a tremendous accomplishment. Thank you, Ms. Berry. At this time, I would like to take time to thank a couple of people for their time and dedication to St. Joe's as they are leaving us at the end of this year. Ms. Clark has been part of our St. Joseph's teaching community for over 28 years as a drama and English teacher, department head for the languages. For the majority of her time, she has worked at putting together productions that include Thoroughly Modern Millie, Mary Poppins, and High School Musical, to name a few. Her dedication to the arts has led to the St. Joseph's having an SHSM in Arts and Culture. Congratulations on all you have done, and best of luck in your retirement, Ms. Clark. Ms. Cross has quietly assisted every single student and staff member behind the scenes for her time in St. Joe's. She has to deal with all attendance issues raised by the staff members not submitting their team list to the office or attendance, and sorting out all of our attendance concerns when we host any event at the school that we forgot to tell her about. We all owe her a great deal of thanks for making this building function on a daily basis. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult. Mrs. Ersick has been part of the St. Joseph community her entire life. She attended St. Joseph's as a student, teaching elementary at the various St. Joe's family of schools, and finally teaching at St. Joe's for the last 20 plus years. She has coached volleyball and basketball. She's inspired students to write essays for the Optimist Club. She's assisted in dramatic productions. She started a ukulele club and inspired hundreds of English students with the passion she displays for literature and languages. She truly bleeds blue and gold and inspires everyone around her to be a better person, especially her husband. I will miss her around the building every day because she makes this building better. This now means that Mr. and Mrs. K will be the new power couple here at St. Joe's. Thank you. And now to our major awards. I would like to invite Mrs. Berry forward to present our first award, the Joshua Award, and its importance.
The Joshua Award is named after Joshua Botno, who was the sixth child of a beloved past vice principal, Paul Botno. Joshua spent a lot of time at our school when Paul was working here, and when his 5 older siblings were students and athletes here. Paul would tell us that Joshua dreamed of being Ram one day, just like his 4 big sisters and his brother John. Joshua did not get to come to high school because he died suddenly as a young boy from a meningitis infection. Paul and Janet created this award in memory of him to honor a male and female grade 9 student who embodied the character of Joshua, which they described as simply being a neat kid. The other criteria for the award was that the student needed to be involved in extracurricular activities. The grade 9 male winner this year is Thomas Booth. Thomas is kind, thoughtful, inquisitive, quirky, and a caring person. He has come to St. Sjhs and capitalized on a wide variety of opportunities that exist at our school. He was part of the chess club, Reach for the Top, concert band, archery team, swim team, and most recently, he played a major role in the music program and the pit band of Sjhs the Musical. His teachers, mentors, and coaches described him as funny, inquisitive, and musically as talented as any of the most gifted grade 12 musical students. Mr. Bannerman described him as methodical. When he gave him his music to learn for the musical, instead of going straight to the piano and trying it out, he calculated how many parts, measures, and pages of music he would need to learn, and then calculated the total time required to learn it. Mrs. Johnson found the drives to reach for the top competitions entertaining with Thomas. He would ask interesting questions like, Mrs. Johnson, is there any oranges in orange pico tea? But every single teacher said the same thing about Thomas, that during his downtime, he either had his head in a book or he was looking for a piano to play. Thomas knows what it's like to be dedicated and to kind of suffer as a result of being a part of something. He is part of the St. Thomas Jumbo Jets competitive swim team that gets up and practices at 6 a.m. in the morning. He was part of the archery team that gets here at 6:30 to do practices. Thomas Booth, thank you for choosing to be a Ram. We are delighted to award you this year's Male Joshua Award. Congratulations. Yes, Your female Joshua Award winner is also someone who involved himself in a number of extracurricular activities. Hannah Slott worked on the chaplaincy group, Reach for the Top, concert band, Revolution workshop, as well as taking on a lead role in the musical. She's a leader in almost every group that she's a part of. Additionally, she is a very welcoming person that never fails to make others feel comfortable by striking up conversations. She's described as someone who brings joy to every group she's a part of. She was an encouraging teammate at practices at Reach for the Top, and she was also very pragmatic about predicted results against other strong schools. What stands out about Hannah is that she's unapologetic about promoting her faith by reading prayers on the announcements and promoting events at lunch. Mr. Bannerman says that despite Hannah being one of the most gifted singers and being able to play all kinds of instruments, she was humble enough to help others to be their best self. An example of Hannah's character happened in my class last week when I was mentioning her involvement and another student's involvement in the school musical. Instead of relishing in the accolades, she was giving me a knowing look that I had forgotten to mention someone. So instead of focusing on herself, she's thinking about others who were a part of the play. Hannah, congratulations on being this year's Joshua Award winner, and thank you so much for being a Ram and representing our school. this year. This year's Junior Male Athlete of the Year is a tri-sport participant. He chose to be involved in 3 sports, and he required various skills in order to do each of them. He was a lineman on the junior team and won Lineman of the Year. Coaches from other schools commented on his abilities and wondered what club team he was a part of. He was on the O-line, and coaches said that he wouldn't come off the field because he also played defense if it were not for needing the odd break. He has just completed an impressive track and field season competing in discus and shot put with senior teammates Noah Polnow and David Anderson. He saw steady improvements thanks to the expertise of Coach Greg Barker and for coming to practice regularly and working hard. He listened, he practiced, and he put to practice the brute strength that is required and the finesse that is required for those 2 throwing events. He can throw the discus 37 odd meters and the shot put almost 14 meters. But his most renowned sport was to be one where he got the title that he's most known by, and that is Mexican torpedo. He placed 5th in WASA in the 50 freestyle and the 100-meter freestyle. And most impressively, he was part of a 4-person team that won against every other WASA school the 4x50-meter freestyle relay, along with his teammates Dimitro, Ryan Didham, and Jaden DeMiranda. They were the fastest foursome in all the schools of WASA and earned a berth to OFSA. It's a privilege to present an award to someone like him, who is so accomplished, but also so humble. And any of you who know him know that if you're in the room or in his presence, he just adds levity, he's joyful. He was the captain of the football team and noted as the hardest working, most positive person on the team. He can laugh at himself, as was proven by a picture that was posted by Hometown Play that was less than becoming. You can expect him to do the monotonous drills of track and field, even though people would say that throwers don't need to do them. On the swim team, he was a brotherly figure to Diego and Gabe, and he could be counted on to lead the team in team-building exercises and pre-competition drills. For all of you who know Sjhs Hernandez, you know how he elevates a room, how he elevates a mood. He's a young man of integrity, he is an athlete, he is a ran, and we couldn't be prouder to call him this year's Junior Male Athlete of the Year.
Caleb's contributed to the school. He's on a field trip. I'd like to call upon Ms. Wolf to present our junior female athlete of the year.
I'd like to first congratulate all the nominees this year for the Female Junior Athlete of the Year award. It's wonderful to see the dedication all of you put into your athletics all year round. It sure doesn't go unnoticed, so keep up the good work. This individual was a part of 4 teams this year, first starting with cross country in the fall. She was the only one of 2 grade 10 girls to do cross country this year. Choosing to do cross country is choosing to suffer. 5 days a week, she was asked to step outside of her physical comfort zone. Just doing this twice a week can leave a runner to their knees if you're competitive. And this athlete is nothing but competitive. The fact that she did cross country with only one of her peers speaks volumes about her independence and drive to better herself. She lives in a rural part of the country, so committing to extracurriculars after school means making arrangements and being well planned. She's extremely responsible in this regard. For the winter season, this athlete was a starter on the volleyball team all season long. She was very easy to coach and always receptive to feedback. She gave her heart to the team, even if it meant losing her voice by cheering on her teammates. This athlete was always in a great mood, no matter what the circumstance. Her focus, determination, and team spirit helped lead the team to a WASA bronze medal this year. Next came the spring sports, and this girl managed to juggle both badminton and track and field in the beginning of the season. Even if she was at badminton practice, she would always come out afterwards and ask if she could get a quick hurdle workout in so she wouldn't fall behind. She's driven and a workhorse, to say the least. When it comes down to it, this girl lays it all out on the finish line. She's a TV Raw champion and a silver medalist in WASA in the 80-meter hurdles, was a runner on the 4x1 relay team, and competed well in the 100-meter sprint. For the second straight year, she found herself qualifying for OSA regionals in the 80-meter hurdles by breaking the 13-second barrier and running a 12.77 for a personal best. Although she has a good shot at making it to OSA this year, some things just don't always go as planned, but this athlete has a lot more in the tank for her last 2 years in high school. Just making it to OSA regionals is a huge accomplishment in the West region, as it is the hardest region to make it out of. I know that with her great attitude and work ethic, this girl will succeed with whatever she does. It is my pleasure to give this year's Female Junior Athlete of the Year award to Mara Kemerling.
He wasn't here earlier to receive his level 2 participation award, so I'll call Diego to come up and receive his level 2. Our next major award is the Paul Botton Award. I'd like to call Mr. Carahalios and Ms. Macero to come forward.
Good morning, everybody. This scholarship is presented to one graduating student who exemplifies the qualities embodied by our former Vice Principal, Paul Botton, namely the virtues of humility, perseverance, good humor, and empathy. The student has a well-rounded approach to extracurricular activities and has been involved in numerous clubs, whether in the realm of arts, social justice, environmentalism. The winner of this award has made a memorable contribution to extracurricular life throughout the course of the high school career and personifies the Catholic graduate expectation.
I've known this student as a coach, mentor, and teacher for 4 years. To me, the thing that absolutely stands out in all of her achievements is the extremes. When you ask her about anything she does, it wasn't good. Let's not talk about it. Or, it was amazing, the best ever, spectacular, we definitely won. There's no in between. She can laugh at herself and be self-deprecating, but is still so confident. This is rare, and I've never seen it from another student quite like this. I've witnessed her growth as an athlete on the cross-country team. She's the first to admit she's not a gifted athlete, but she stuck with it for 4 seasons through the rain, the cold, and the heat. Running definitely doesn't come easy to her, but work ethic does. And she showed her peers that with the struggle, you can still find satisfaction and have fun. She's resilient as a runner, and her coaches never saw her quit, regardless of her placement. Something that stood out to me watching races with her, and she was out on the course for every single race, was that she always wanted to know, what's that kid's name? Who's coming next? So she could always make a point of cheering for them by name. Even as a senior, she wanted to know the names of every grade 9 on the team so that she could stand there out in the rain and cheer for them. As a visual artist, the student excels. She was selected as one of 20 artists from our school to be featured in the St. Thomas Elgin Art Gallery last year, and her work's been displayed in our virtual pandemic gallery, and she's been in all of our in-person arts and music nights featured with her art. Her art always has a personal flair, and it's relatable to anyone who knows her. From self-portraits to squirrels, this artist knows how to connect to her work. In addition, she took on a major role in the drama production this year as a stage manager for Sjhs, a new role for her, and the consensus from the cast and crew is that the production couldn't have been done without her. She put her all into this venture as a graduating senior throughout May and June, a time she could have just succumbed to senioritis. Finally, I've had the pleasure of mentoring this student since she was in grade 7 in robotics. The day I met her, she was bursting with excitement and enthusiasm, literally jumping up and down in place because her grade 7 Lego robot drove straight and then it stopped. The expression on her face that day is one her teammates and mentors have seen hundreds of times since, and the level of joy that she exudes during competition is next level. It's absolutely contagious, and she brings it to every single other student on the team and her coaches. This student's passion kept her working on robotics through the pandemic, where she helped create a weekly set of online STEM challenges for primary kids right at the start of the pandemic, when this kind of activity wasn't even a thing yet. She also led an all-girls team for 2 years, and as team captain, she always took the time to work one-on-one with new members to help them with all of her skills, from building, coding, to strategizing. She was a big part of delivering the pitch to our school board to convince them to let us create an official robotics team for all of the high schools in our board. With her animated demo and her "Why I Love Robots" way too much spiel, followed by her extreme unboxing presentation, our superintendents didn't know what hit them and pretty much had to approve the idea. She's competed in FLL, FRC, and BRC at local, regional, provincial, and world championships. For Worlds this year, she somehow convinced her peers to build, model, and walk on the world stage dressed up as frisbee golf in a costume contest, and then won. Of course, this quirky, smart, hardworking, enthusiastic, and moderately squirrely student and the recipient of the 2023 Paul Botno Award is none other than Kaylee Baker.
I'd like to call upon Mr. McCaffrey to come forward to present our male senior sport award winner.
Good morning. I have the honor of giving out the St. Joseph Sport Award for senior male. This award is for someone who has shown tremendous skill, but also sportsmanship in their respective sports. It is for someone who practices fair play, giving their best, team spirit, self-discipline, and team leadership. The award this year goes to someone who has been a staple of the school for a very long time. As this is his last year, a boy is going to be left in the hallways where his smile, his joy, and his spirit are very contagious. Over his high school sports career, he has showcased his talents in cross country, swimming, and tennis. I had the privilege of seeing all the qualities this award represents on the tennis courts this year. The St. Joseph Sport Award for senior male goes to Gabe Gallant.
That is awesome. Now I'd like to call upon Mr. Landon and Mr. Pava, as if they don't spend enough time together, to come forward to present our senior sport female award winners.
Morning, Rams. As I look around the room, members, coaches, and parents here to support our young athletes today, as they have done all year. We've all been lucky enough to witness some amazing accomplishments on the court, field, ice, or whatever surface our teams have played on. As a coach, I am very proud of the way in which our student athletes continue to represent St. Joe's in such an incredible way. I'm pleased to be here this morning to present the St. Joseph's Sport Award. This award is given to a senior female student who has displayed very good skill in their sporting activities, but also, just as importantly, good sportsmanship through their actions. They demonstrate fair play, always give their best, have team spirit and self-discipline, and provide team leadership in their own particular way. If you look at the list of the nominees for this award, you can make a strong case for any of the young ladies on this list. The coaches selecting these awards have such a difficult time narrowing it down to one winner, and in some cases, like this year, we end up splitting the award. One of the St. Joseph's Sport Award winners has been heavily involved in extracurricular activities at our school since she was in grade 9. She's one of the highest point earners in the school and always strives to represent St. Joe's with hard work and sportsmanship. I'm not going to build a suspense because you're going to know what I'm talking about as soon as I go through it. So just to get this out of the way, one of the winners is Caitlin Fox. So in basketball, Caitlin played the role of a supporting teammate who's ready to jump in and contribute every chance she got. She practiced hard and prepared well for every situation. She routinely brought experience and leadership to the team and encouraged her teammates to do their best. In hockey, Caitlin started her career as an alternate player in grade 9, filling in whenever she could. She showed her dedication to her team throughout the year and became an important utility player as the season went on. Fast forward to grade 12. Caitlin played a key role for the hockey team, playing multiple positions and being an important part of our leadership group of captains, facilitating communication within the team, taking care of dressing room tasks, and making sure everyone was in the loop on all team-related things. On the ice, Caitlin was a fierce competitor who studied the game and used her skills and knowledge to improve her team. Caitlin provided mentorship to younger players and made an effort to always be an example of what it means to be a great teammate. Caitlin's teammates had the following things to say about her. As a new girl on the team, I felt welcomed by everyone, but by Caitlin especially. She always had the answers to any questions I came to her with, and overall was a really supportive teammate. Caitlin is always nice and positive on the bench. She shows great leadership and is a great teammate. While making all of these contributions to our athletics program, Caitlin also somehow found time to be the stage manager of this year's musical. I personally think she should win a separate award for having to put up with Mr. Bannerman and Mr. K every day. Mr. Bannerman had the following to say about Caitlin. She can always be counted on to be there for her team. She puts in the extra effort whenever possible and prides herself on being someone that can be counted on when times are tough. I can do that is not just something she says, it's something she believes inherently, even when trying to do something that she's never done before. As much as I hate to agree with Mr. Bannerman, what he says is true. Having coached her in junior basketball, I witnessed firsthand how awesome it is to have Caitlin on the team. It's people like Caitlin that make me love coaching so much. Caitlin's involvement in athletics and extracurriculars has shown her commitment to her school and her teammates again and again, which makes her an excellent choice for the St. Joseph's Sport Award. Congratulations, Caitlin.
All right, the St. Joseph's Sport Award for the female award winner this year has demonstrated all the attributes that Mr. Lamon outlined throughout their high school career across a variety of different sports. Having coached or taught this recipient every year that they attended St. Joe's, I have gotten to know them well and can say they embody exactly what we expect from our student athletes at St. Joseph's. Whether they were running cross country in the fall, putting on a volleyball jersey in the winter, or a soccer jersey in the spring, they always found a way to become an integral part of that team by by being dedicated and putting the team's success before her own accomplishments at all times. She went on to play and win multiple LDA championships in volleyball, and this year I had the pleasure of watching her be an amazing role model and sister/babysitter on our LDA and WASA champion and Austin quarterfinal soccer team. To be able to finish her high school career with multiple WASA runs and back-to-back seasons in sports, and a trip to WASA is an amazing accomplishment, and that is only accomplished by teams with special teammates who put the team first, like yourself. I know everyone had warned me that this group of sisters only gets louder as they get younger, but having experienced it and knowing it firsthand, I'm glad we had you break the ice for us. Not having all three of you, even you, Cat in the Hat, at OFSA next year won't be the same. From all the staff, coaches, and your teammates here at St. Joe's, thank you for all the time you have dedicated to St. Joe's athletics over the years, and best of luck next year at Western. Please give a round of applause for our Co-2023 Female St. Joe's Sport Award winner, Addison Brooks.
The next award is actually relatively new to our school. It was given out last year for the first time. And this Michelle Stewart Sampson Award is awarded to a student at our school, and again, it's only the second time. Michelle was a former student who tragically passed away in a car accident much too early. She was described as an honest, compassionate, and generous person. Generous enough to ask a young teacher at St. Joe's, yours truly, to fill in for her partner in our annual indoor golf classes. You might see our names forever linked on our green jacket hung in the athletics cabinet down by the phys ed office. It's with great pride that I share this, and forever we will be linked. Michelle holds a very special place in my heart. I will ask Mr. Santos and Mr. Pava to come forward to present our recipients for this year.
All right, here we go again. So, the Michelle Stewart Sampson Memorial Scholarship recipient is a student that I had the pleasure of teaching and coaching throughout their 4 years at St. Joe's, and they have contributed so much time and effort to St. Joe's athletics, specifically varsity girls soccer, hockey, and badminton. This student perfectly exemplifies many of the attributes of the Michelle Stewart Sampson Award Mr. Ersick outlined. I witnessed many of these amazing attributes both in the French classroom for the last 4 years and on our varsity girls team for the last 2 years, as hers and many of our grade 12 spring seasons were canceled in both grade 9 and 10. Her athletics journey actually began in grade 9, trying out for our varsity girls hockey team, where she came up against some top competitors and some of the best players around the area and at her position. Despite not having a starting spot, she showed amazing commitment and went on to lead that same varsity girls hockey team to a shutout win in the playoffs in her grade 9 year, and played a vital role in the varsity girls hockey team run to WASA this year, winning a bronze medal. Soccer may not have been her first sport, but being an amazing athlete who was dedicated and hardworking, she would never look out of place on the soccer field, no matter where we asked her to play. She was also one of the only girls on the team, other than RC, also known as Reese Coleman, or now we call her Red Card, who would be out on the field dishing out and receiving hockey-style hits because she was always going as hard as she could. Having the chance to also be around this student athlete plenty this year through our varsity girls soccer also run, her dedication and ambition in improving her game stood out all year, and the same thing was said about her by our hockey coaches. Both coaches also brought up her quiet leadership and calmness in all situations, keeping her team and sometimes even her coaching staff calm in those situations. She was the perfect role model for St. Joe's athletics, and whether it was soccer, hockey, or badminton, she made her teams better. I'm happy that after all the turbulent years through a pandemic and canceled seasons, that you finally got to finish your high school career with 2 incredibly successful seasons. Another key component of the Michelle Stewart Sampson Award is that this graduating student is pursuing education at the post-secondary level. Not only was the student hardworking, dedicated, and an amazing role model on the ice, field, and court, she was also a pleasure to teach and always worked to the fullest of her potential by giving it her all in the classroom and making those around her better learners. She perfectly defined what it means to be a student athlete. We want to thank you for your 4 years of dedication, leadership, and calmness to our athletics program and teams here at St. Joe's, and as student athletes like you who make coaches enjoy coaching. This year's Michelle Stewart Sampson Memorial Scholarship Award winner and second female from her family to win a St. Joe's Co-Curricular Award, Emma Dodgson.
Okay, good morning, Rams. Today I'm lucky enough to be presenting the winner for the Michelle Stewart Sampson Award for a male. This award is given to a student who is pursuing post-secondary education. The winner of this award exemplifies a good work ethic, working to their potential in academics, extracurriculars, and demonstrates compassion, honesty, hard work, and most importantly, teamwork. These are all characteristics that come to mind when I think of this year's winner. I've had the pleasure of knowing this young man through mine of his 4 years at St. Joe's. I first met him as a young, lanky grade 9 who would come out to test himself on the cross-country. With loads of talent on this team, it would have been easy to fly under the radar, but he was someone who shone from the get-go. He qualified for OFSA as an individual, which is an incredibly tough task to do, and he went on to finish top 100, which is an incredible thing to do as a high school athlete at OFSA. The hard work and commitment we saw from him early on was a true sign of things to come. Over his time at St. Joe's, he was a member of our powerhouse basketball program. As a junior athlete, he was a part of a WASA winning team and was a contributing member as a grade 11 and 12 student. When asked about his thoughts on this young man, Mr. Raynard mentioned how he exemplified many of the things that you want in a student athlete: intelligence, good decision-making, discipline, maturity, and leadership. He was a great athlete to coach and an even better person. I'd like to echo these words, as these were things I learned about him, from his time on the cross-country team, to our time in a religion class, to my most recent experience with him on the varsity boys soccer team, which I'll get to shortly. As a soccer player, Mr. Ersick was quick to recruit him to the football team. He was an all-star kicker who had never actually played football. He was a natural and became a pivotal part of the senior boys football team. Away from sports, he was a contributing member to our school community. An individual who excelled in the classroom, he prioritized academics, which is leading to his taking part in kinetics and kinesiology and post-secondary education. He also gave up his time and his schedule to help with other extracurriculars. When the robotics program hosted their event at our school, he was more than willing to provide his time as a volunteer and went above and beyond, assisting all throughout the school day and into the early evening. Ms. Sipo even mentioned how he was the best lighting engineer they ever had. As I mentioned before, I was lucky enough to coach this young man in his final sporting season at St. Joe's as a member of the varsity soccer team. While the season didn't end exactly how we wanted, I became even more proud of him than I already was of this young gentleman. As a captain on the team, he led by example on and off the field. At practices, he was leading warm-ups and guiding his teammates on how to become not only better footy players, but also better people. He was a force on the field, being a crucial member of our midfield, one of the players we trusted the most to get the job done. This earned him a nomination for TV Raw's Mr. Soccer, which we're still waiting to hear the results on. While his high school career was disrupted as many others were by COVID, he was able to achieve a level of success and an impact on others that is more than he will ever know. Many of the parents of grade 9s on our soccer team came up to me and mentioned how happy they were to have had this individual as a role model for their grade 9s. A true sign of who someone is the way that their peers talk about them. Many of the students on our team talk about how they're going to miss school next year. They're going to talk about how they'll miss him not only as a soccer player, but as a teammate and as a friend. I'll end this with a quote from one of his teammates. He's one of the nicest and most humble guys we'll ever meet. He's an excellent football player. And he's always said, 70% of the earth is covered by water, the rest is covered by Will Mantell. So without further ado, I'd like to present the Michelle Stewart Sampson Award to the one and only Will the Thrill Mantell.
I get to present the next award. The Richard Dick Crow Award is not presented every year because not always have the qualifications been met. This individual checks all the boxes. He displays great leadership not only on the football field, but in all aspects of student life. This was displayed greatly last week at the Track and Field Invitational, where he led a group of track officials and garnered praise from all the coaches and volunteers from all the other schools about his demeanor, his efforts, his attitude, and all of his enthusiasm that he displayed for all of the athletes that participated last week. He's always wanted to make St. Joseph's better. He was an LBA All-Star in football. He won the Anderson Award in football. He is truly a special, special individual. We want to wish Wes McClendon all the very best as he pursues football at McMaster. He is now a Marauder, but he will always be a Ram. Congratulations. Our next award is the Senior Athlete of the Year. Can I please call forward Mr. Rayner to present the male winner this year. Or Mr. Ryan. I'll get Mr. Ryan to come up and then Mr. Rayner.
As St. Joe's approaches its 100-year anniversary, it's an opportunity to marvel at some of the past athletic achievements of both teams and individual athletes. OFSA championships, undefeated seasons, Elgin, TV Raw, and WASA records. This year was no different as we sent 16 teams and a host of individual athletes to WASA and some on to OFSA. That standard has been long established since before any of you got here. But through your efforts, that tradition of excellence continues. When you ask me to define athleticism, certain things and certain people come to mind. But just to be thorough, I looked it up anyway. Athleticism is the ability to repeatedly perform a range of movements with precision and confidence in a variety of environments, which requires competent levels of motor skills, strength, power, speed, agility, balance, coordination, and endurance. This year's co-winner is the definition of a multi-sport athlete, and he hits every criteria previously mentioned. He played in the fall, the winter, the spring, and the summer, inside and outside, on grass, turf, snow, ice, and court. Sometimes he was demonstrating power, driving back 300-pound opponents on the gridiron. Sometimes he was demonstrating balance and coordination when he was skating and pivoting on two razor-sharp blades that are an eighth of an inch wide. Sometimes he was demonstrating fine motor skills and precision with a drop shot in badminton, and other times he was demonstrating agility and endurance on the soccer pitch. What this athlete didn't do sometimes, or any time, was put the number on the back of the jersey ahead of the crest on the front of it. He was a leader on the senior football team. He was a captain on the varsity hockey team and led them to a 3-loss season, including being LDA champs and a trip to Wassa, where we lost to the eventual OFSA champion in a very close game. He was also a captain on the varsity soccer team. He leads by example, he leads with his work ethic, and he leads with unwavering dedication. The latter is visible every day at 3 p.m. when he's in the weight room training. Whether it's preseason, in-season, or postseason, he has helped establish the standard we strive to achieve in that space. The moment that maybe best exemplifies the year this athlete had was during a Friday night football game under the lights. As I watched part of the game with the CIS football coach, he asked me, what school is number 34 talking to? I told him no one, because it's his first year playing. He looked at me surprised. Then I told him he was only in grade 11, and he gave me a second thought. It was no surprise he received postseason recognition from opposing coaches and was unanimously voted in as a starting linebacker on the All-LTA All-Star team. Once again, he accomplished that as a rookie that's never played the game before. It's been a privilege to coach this individual in multiple sports and to see him grow into the different roles that he's embraced all year. Congratulations on a great year and a well-deserved award, Kian. We look forward to seeing what you can accomplish in grade 12 and maybe 5th years.
Okay, thank you. Congrats, Kian. St. Joseph High School is an educational institution that has been in existence since 1925. Since that time, its graduates have gone on to be leaders in innovation, politics, economics, business, history, athletics, mathematics, science, just to name a few. This school is the perfect embodiment of our Ontario Catholic graduate expectations because many of the students who pass through these halls are discerning believers, effective communicators, they are creative, self-directed, collaborative, caring, and responsible citizens. Today, Mr. Rick and myself have been asked to present one of the Senior Male Athlete of the Year awards. Someone who perfectly reflects the qualities I just mentioned. To begin, I first met this young man when he was in my wife's elementary class in grade 7. She was coaching the basketball team. She told me that I should come watch one of their games as there was a player on the team that was very good. I remember being amazed that day because I was seeing something you don't generally see at an elementary school basketball game. I mean, first and foremost, he made a shot from half court. He was making shots all over the court, demonstrating discipline, maturity. I immediately went about making sure that he knew that St. Joe's was a high school option for him. Now, my colleagues in the athletic department don't like it when I use the word recruiting, so I'll only say that I made it my mission to show him the highlights and benefits of an education at St. Joe's. A few t-shirts and shorts with St. Joe's logos on them might have been involved, but I can't be 100% sure. I'm happy to note that he did choose St. Joe's, where he went on to be captain of a Wassa championship team in basketball in grade 9. He left us to pursue his basketball dream at a basketball academy, but as they say, once a Ram, always a Ram, and so he returned to our basketball program this year and captured the LDA championship, where we fell just a few baskets short of a Wassa senior goal. Finally, he was chosen this year for the first time ever in St. Joe's history as Mr. Basketball for LDA. I would be remiss if I did not now include my fellow basketball coach in this speech, because he had a lot to do with this young man's growth as a basketball player.
Well, two things. Thank you, Mr. Pava, for not speaking in French, because I would have needed subtitles. And I don't know who this Mr. Rick is, but Coach Freak says congratulations to all the athletes and the award winners out there. I started training and coaching Mr. Bogart at the age of about 12. And the one thing I noticed right away was his drive and desire to become the best is unmatched. No matter what he was doing, whether it was golf, baseball, basketball, he wanted to be the best at everything he did, which is pretty impressive. He also has a motor that just doesn't quit. And with basically those abilities, you know by the time you get to the age he's at right now, you're probably going to win some awards as an elite athlete. He did win a few awards this year, obviously. He won a couple tournament MVPs. He won some player of the game for some elite tournaments. But the most important award that I think he won this year is since 1998, they have given an award to the best senior male basketball player for TV Raw. No student outside of London has won this award. But this year, Brandon was Mr. Basketball for all of TV Raw. It's pretty impressive. So can I get a round of applause? I love him like a son, and I'm going to be excited to go to Lambton next year to watch many basketball games, as that is my alma mater and his dad's as well. I'm hoping that coaches Pava and Lehman and any other coaches who want to join us, there might be a road trip involved there, but we'll see how that goes. And now I'd like to turn it back to Mr. Reynard, who finally made it for this speech, to give the award to Mr. Brandon Bogan.
Senior athletes of the year, Brandon Bogan.
I'd like to call upon Mr. Fox to present the female senior athlete of the year.
So this award is presented to a senior female student who's participated in a number of sports during the current year and exhibited leadership, outstanding skill and desire, team dedication, and leadership in a sportsmanship manner. Our senior female athlete of the year has participated in basketball, volleyball, and badminton this year. She's a dedicated athlete in all of these sports and always strives to improve her skills and help her team achieve success. Our winner this year quietly goes about her business. She's not flashy or loud. She's not boastful or arrogant. She simply strives to compete at her highest level, no matter what the sport. She is dedicated, rarely missing a practice, and never a game, even though that sometimes meant sitting in the front hall until the late afternoon waiting for a ride. And for these qualities, this is what makes Maddie Johnson an excellent choice for this year's Athlete of the Year. There she is. I'll let you walk up, I'll keep talking. So Maddie's volleyball coach said that she was an all-around stellar team player. His commitment to the group was top-notch. He said she was the type of player who would fill in any situation, no questions asked, and would do her ultimate best in that scenario, even if it was a new position to her. Her desire to learn and willingness to adapt made her an important part of the making of the team, and she contributed to our overall success. In basketball, Maddie always wanted to be her best. She would challenge herself to be better, analyzing her game and asking her coach where she could improve each time, and then going and working on that skill in practice or at home. She was quiet, but led by her example in both practices and games with her effort, determination, and desire to win. She displayed an intensity that was hard not to follow. Maddie simply possesses the attributes it takes to be a standout athlete, and she uses them to make herself better and her team better always. She wanted to be a leader, which is something when she came to me at the beginning of the year and said, I want to be the captain of this team. That's something many players shy away from at this level because it means you need to step up on a regular basis and
be an example to others. Maddie took on this role of captain for our team and fulfilled her duties each day of the season, resulting in a strong performance for our team throughout. Maddie also displays a superior level of sportsmanship in all she does. She rarely gets rattled in the face of a challenge. She plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. Her coaches, teammates, and even her opponents have a respect for her because of how she handles herself and how she shows respect to others. She's appreciative of those around her and what they do for her, and she always lets them know. Watching Maddie's confidence build and her belief in her own abilities grow over the years has been a pleasure, as she's developed into a great player and a teammate. I'm excited to say that Maddie will be attending Conestoga College in the fall. We'll be playing basketball for their program. The program there will certainly benefit from her approach to the game, and I'm sure she will bring her style of basketball to help that team to be a success as well. So congratulations, Maddie, as a senior athlete of the year.
And our final and most prestigious award today. I'm proud to present the Tommy White Award, as is considered our highest co-curricular award. It is presented to the student athlete that participates in a variety of athletics over their entire St. Joseph's career. Our gym was dedicated to honor Tommy White for his dedication to St. Joseph's, as he was a local sports store owner who was asked to run the athletics program and was generous enough to take on that role for many years. We honor him every year by presenting this award. This individual participated in multiple sports his entire career at St. Joe's. He's been a part of the football team, the track team, the badminton team, and the basketball team. He did that all this year and almost every year. He was the Anderson Award winner for LDA football. As the top student athlete in the entire league, this award is presented to honor not only his athletic ability, but also his academic ability. As stated earlier, he's a leader in our school community, working at the track and field invitational, receiving high praise from all coaches and athletes alike. He has been a joy to have in this school. He's got the biggest smile going. We all know him. We all love him. We're going to miss him. Wes McLennan, congratulations. I'd like to call upon Ms. Berry to present the female recipient.
Thank you, everyone, for your attention. It's been long, and you've been so respectful, and we appreciate that. I'm a little upset that I don't feel as though I've done justice to this speech. I had 4 speeches to write, and those of you that know me, I came to school early and I forfeited my morning run in order to write these, but I left this speech to last. And I just hope the recipient knows that, and that all of you know that as coaches and teachers, when we invest in you, we give you a little piece of our heart, and that when you graduate, a little piece of our heart goes with you. And this is the case for all of you, and this is the case for this recipient, and for me, because I've had the honor of teaching and coaching her on 6 occasions. So if your name is up here as a nominee, congratulations. Someone in the school values your contribution and thinks that you're worthy of the most prestigious award to be considered. The winner is a student athlete, and I exaggerate the student part of that. She's participated in numerous extracurriculars like hockey, rugby, cross country, badminton, and track and field. Her commitment, leadership, and athletic ability and quiet hard work makes her one of the most valued members of all of those teams. Valued by her coaches and valued by her teammates. And as much as she's valued by those people, she's equally feared by her opponents. She is laser focused on hunting down runners who are in front of her in a cross-country race. And she consistently ends up passing them before the finish line. She plows through the defense when running with the ball in rugby. My husband and I went to watch one of the rugby games, and he just nudged me and said, "Who is that?" And I told him who she was because he had heard her name in our home a number of times. In hockey, she relished in the challenges of taking on the best players of other teams, and she would elevate her game in response to how good the other team was. She was an incredible teammate. Skill level stood out especially this year. She was a versatile badminton player, Mr. Urson said. She played mixed doubles, doubles, singles, and just simply did whatever she was asked to do. At practice, at rugby, she worked harder than anybody else. She often had the ball in her hands and ran offense effectively. On defense, she delivered crushing tackles whenever other teams ran at her. She was the team's MVP all season, and she will be irreplaceable next year. I lost my place here. She started her grade 9 year on the cross-country team and narrowly missed qualifying for OFSA by finishing as one of the top 4 individuals in all of WASA. And this year, in her final competitive season of high school, she juggled the responsibilities of rugby and track and field, and went on the track to qualify for WASA, but could not compete because you just simply can't divide yourself in two and compete at WASA track and field and WASA rugby. On top of all of this, she has excelled academically and maintained superior academic standing through hard work, time management, collaboration, and integrity of her personality. One of her teachers commented that she takes feedback and she applies it, and I think her coaches would agree. Tell her once and it's going to get done. We send this year's Tommy White Award winner off knowing that her time in life is just beginning. She is going to flourish at university. The university that she is going to is going to benefit by her being a student there. How fortunate that we get to say that she was one of us, that she represented us with grit, integrity, and that she capitalized on opportunities and made us proud that she was a Ram. Christine Hannon will be very missed, and we are proud to name you this year's most prestigious
have a few closing remarks. I want to give special thanks to the Tommy White Foundation, Corey Stewart and Sampson family, and the Friends of St. Joseph for their generous support over the years. I want to thank Mr. Pickering for all the images and keeping us on track. Special shout out goes to Mr. Leeds. Thank you for all your help in coordinating all the points and the structure that we followed to have this night. I would like to ask all major award winners to please come to the stage after the assembly so that we can get some pictures for the yearbook. I want to thank everyone for their time and being patient with us today. Thank you very much. I want to make a special announcement that the Spring Spirit Award winners will be presented in video form, similar to last year. We will have that in the opening announcements this week, as well as the Club Spirit Award winners will be presented in video format this week as to not interrupt too many of the classes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our co-curricular program for the day. Please, students, stack 5 chairs high. I've said that for a while. Thank you very much for today.